Okay, just I'm gonna watch.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Bradford Becker. Welcome to Red Barn Radio. We are now in our 24th year of broadcasting. Tonight, we present for you Roots Music Southern Style, episode number 913. Thunder and Rain has been touring and making records since 2014. Founding member Erinn Peet Lukes moved from Colorado to Nashville in 2021, where she met Amelia Ransom, who plays fiddle, and Laura Ray, who plays banjo. They're all here tonight. The three had immediate chemistry and began touring the Northeast, Southeast, and Mountain West. We're so glad to have Erinn, Amelia, and Laura with us here tonight on Red Barn Radio. They're joined tonight, too, by someone we just met a month or so ago, and that's Vicki Vaughn on bass. Now we bring you Thunder and Rain. Welcome.
1, 2, 3.
You woke up in the parking lot on a Sunday afternoon. You knew it was a pity, babe, the money came and went too soon. You spent it like a dead man, like it rains in Tennessee. Hard and fast and all at once on the night you first saw me. Passing in the night, two welcoming lights stay until the dawn. I drank a whole bottle of wine, you polished off the gin. I was sick to my stomach, babe, I was ready to let you in. Now the fog has lifted, now the summer sun did rise. I see something plain and honest in your eyes. Passing in the night, two welcoming lights stay till the dawn.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Erinn Peet Lukes, founding member of Thunder and Rain, has been awarded for her songwriting several times, including Kerrville New Folk Competition, Merlefest Songwriting Competition, and IBMA Songwriter Showcase. Thunder and Rain's latest release, Storybook Sessions, marks the beginning of a new era for this decade-long project they call Thunder and Rain. These are some talented players who obviously love what they're doing, though some, if not much, of what you hear this evening is their latest material. You can also hear music from earlier iterations of Thunder and Rain on Spotify and other streaming platforms, but that's there. We're here. It's Red Barn Radio, folks, and tonight's guest is Thunder and Rain.
Thank you so much. We've been excited about this for a long time.
Me too.
All right, so we ready to play another song? Okay. This song I wrote a while ago. As you said, this band got started in 2014. I wrote this song in 2014, and I was living in Colorado at the time, thinking about why all these young people were moving to Denver. And me and my friend RP, who I wrote a lot of songs with at the time, we sort of made up this story of a teenage girl running away from home with her boyfriend to find a new life, and it's called Omaha.
2, 3.
She found a map you. Thank you so much. This next song we're going to do, we did not write, and in fact, it's not even a bluegrass song. We like to do songs that aren't bluegrass but make them bluegrass. And this one we heard one of our friends do, and we're like, that's a bluegrass song, but it's actually by Tegan and Sarah, which is an early aughts or mid-aughts duo that I used to really like, but I think they would be classified as indie rock. So we're going to try their song about maybe being very creepy. I think this song is about being a creeper. A little bit. You decide. It's called Living Room. Yourself clean, and I wonder what it is that they left this bathroom so unclean. So like me, well, I hope I never figure out who broke your heart. And if I do, I'd spend all night losing sleep. I spend the night, I lose my mind. If I spend the night, then I lose my mind. Spend all night losing sleep. I spend the night. Thank you. This next one we got for you is off of that record that you were talking about, Brad, that Storybook Sessions. And this song is well, the album is very like, we're telling other people's stories, we're telling made-up stories. This one is autobiographical for me. And it's kind of about when you think someone likes you, like romantically, but they actually don't, but you're really not sure. It's kind of the will they, won't they. And folk music has a conference called Folk Alliance, IBMA, Bluegrass Conference. Musicians have conferences just like business people do, because we're business people at the end of the day. And at one such conference, I thought that this musician liked me, was following me around, wanted to dance with me, etc. Turns out he had a partner of 2 years that they lived together, and I totally misread the situation. So I wrote a song about it. And this conference took place in Kansas City, Missouri, if anyone's ever been there. And there is a big, cool, vintage sign that says Western Auto right in the skyline that we could see when you go up on the roof to take a break from the conference, have a smoke, whatnot. And so I decided to write an ode to that sign and this misguided weekend. This is called Western Auto Sign. Sunrise smile set across your face makes my darkening mind feel more like day. Rocks and stones built a fortress tall, but you got a foothold and you're climbing my wall. Smoking, looking at the skyline. Take your picture by the Western Auto sign. Say it's for the internet. You say that's a lie. You'll be looking back on what we had in that canteen night. Dancing close, will you let me lead and mix it up in this hotel suite? What is this? I ask you, dear. You say you cannot kiss me. We can share a beer. Smoking, looking at the skyline. Take your picture by the Western Auto sign. Say it's for the internet. You say that's a lie. Don't be looking back on what we had in that canteen night. Canteen night. A sunset wave on a winter's night. You led me on, but I'll be alright. I'll fly away in airplane mode, and I will see you there in my camera roll. Smoking, looking at the skyline. Take your picture by the Western Auto sign. Say it's for the internet. You say that's a lie. You'll be looking back on what we had, and that you can't deny. Can't deny.
I'm gonna try to sing this next song for you guys. This is a John Hartford song. It's called Long Hot Summer Days. And, I first learned this off a Sarah Watkins record. And
This is
brought it.
Amelia speaking, by the way.
Oh yeah,
if you're
this
on
is
the
Amelia,
radio.
if you're on the radio.
This is our fiddle player, Amelia. She's going to sing this one for y'all.
I'm gonna attempt to sing it. I'm fighting off some allergies or something, so we'll see. Might sound a little less John Hartford and a little more Janis Joplin tonight. We'll see. Gonna pack up some of these empties here soon as I know where they lay. Tied up, jolly, and I'm leaving mine. It's on a long hot summer day. For everyday work on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. On a tugboat pulling up barges on a long hot summer day. Well, I got me a gal in Pekin, and she's a good old gal again. I bet she's sitting by the window fan on a long hot summer day. For every day of work on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. On a tugboat pulling up barges on a long hot summer day. Last night we had pork for supper. Today will be chicken consomme and a fruit jar full of iced tea on a long hot summer day. Every day you work on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. On a tugboat pulling up barges on a long hot summer day. Well, we let a man off in Beardstown when we come down yesterday. Well, I'm gonna get on off at Alton on a long hot summer day. Well, for every day of work on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. On a tugboat pulling up barges on a long hot summer day. For every day of work on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. On a tugboat pulling up barges on a long hot summer day.
All right. Well, listeners, if you're just joining us, listeners, viewers, our band this evening is Thunder and Rain. Thunder and Rain is led by Erinn Peet Lukes, who is one of the founding members. And the last song you just heard was that was Amelia, who is our Thunder and Rain's fiddler up here. Did a great job. Wow, voice sounded great. Happy?
Yes.
Good. Me too. Me too. That was just beautiful. Nice job. So, Erinn, I wonder if you might start us off by telling us how it is that we're in the beginning of a new era for this band. Talk
Yes.
to us about that.
I love eras.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I moved to Nashville at the very beginning of 2021, and my band was always Colorado-based, but in the pandemic, the band kind of dissolved, and I moved to Nashville thinking that, it was kind of the end of the road for TNR. And I made a solo EP that was kind of more indie rock, kind of played solo around town and played with a full band sometimes. And I was just like, man, I really miss playing bluegrass. I love playing in a string band. And crazily enough, this beautiful woman right behind me on the bass, Vicki Vaughn, she's one of the first people I met in Nashville, crazily enough, like at a station and after party. And kept in touch with Vicki, and she introduced me to both these gals, suggested that I reach out to them for various shows. And one day I was just out with Laura and Amelia. We were having some beers at the East Nashville Beer Works, just talking about stuff, talking about wanting to be in a band. And I was looking at them and I was like, wait a second, I have a band. Wait a second, what if we were the band again? So it just kind of dawned on me because I met these two gals, Laura and Amelia here, through our friend Vicki. I met them and just knew that it was time to start it up again. And I asked them to join me, and I wasn't sure what they were going to say, but somehow they both said yes. So that's how it all happened. And we've been doing this for almost 3 years together, doing it together. So
All right.
it's been a great 3 years it's been a great era. It's a very girly pop era. We're in our femininity era, but, and I'm loving it. I love working with women. I love playing with women. All my bandmates have been amazing musicians and friends, but I love this version of the group.
I wonder if you could go back to the time before Laura and Amelia, and talk to us about, your younger life in California, where you started off.
Yeah, I was raised in Southern California. I'm not from a musical family. I did not know bluegrass existed. I was not exposed to country music. I had really no exposure to anything that I'm currently doing, except that I really loved singing and then eventually loved playing guitar, and I always wanted to write songs. So my family was really encouraging of me playing this instrument and singing, and but they wouldn't let me go to music school. That was the only thing. They were like, you got to go to regular school. So I went to.
They didn't feel that music school was a good investment, or.
Well, I think they just thought that even though I loved music, I should, I could take music classes at a regular school, but they just wanted me to have options of what to do. And luckily, I ended up going to University of Washington in Seattle. And I played so much music there. I did like 3 to 4 open mics a week, and I would skip class to busk at Pike Place Market. So I really cut my teeth playing in Seattle. And some of my friends from there are still my friends today in Nashville.
And so what did you go to the university to study?
Well,
then?
they told me I could study whatever I want. And so I ended up studying Italian. That's my major, Italian. Yeah. I know, and I'm totally using it. Thanks, UW.
She ordered gelato just today.
I did. I really did order gelato, and not in Italian, though. And I also learned Spanish in high school, so I kind of forgot Italian because my brother-in-law speaks Spanish. Now I pretty much only use Spanish, and they're like the same in my brain, so the Italian's kind of gone, but my Spanish is pretty good after a couple beers.
And nice. And so you finished up in Seattle.
I graduated about a semester early and immediately went to New York City. My sister was living there at the time, working at the Village Voice, and I lived in her apartment, and then eventually met some friends and lived in their apartment, and I went to New York City to play music. That was my dream. I thought I was Bob Dylan or something. I was like, I'm gonna go, and just ended up jamming bluegrass. And then I was like, what am I doing here? And my friend at the time told me to move to Denver to start a band with him. So that's how I ended up in Denver playing bluegrass.
Yeah.
A long and winding road.
Well, so at what point then did you, when you went to New York, were you imagining that you were going to connect with bluegrass and traditional music?
Tiptoed into string band music in Seattle, but I was pretty unanchored in any kind of genre. I actually didn't know what genre I was and didn't know what to write in, but once I started going to bluegrass jams just to get out and meet people and to get better at guitar, it was just like a community I knew I could go to because I went to a couple bluegrass jams in Seattle. I knew I could like go and make friends. That's when it kind of hit, but it didn't really hit until I moved to Denver when I started jamming literally every day, made a bluegrass band. like grew up in that scene really at 23, which is late for a bluegrass player. But yeah, so then, and I've been in it ever since.
And the folks that you formed your band with, it was a sort of mixed gender? Were they men and women?
At the beginning, it was me and my friend who was a guy. I mean, he still is a guy. And my other friend who's a guy. So it was actually, for most of the run of the band, it was me and 3 dudes behind me. But occasionally we would have a fiddle player that's a woman. So we did get co-ed a little bit as we moved forward, but the original band was 3 guys and me.
And were you, so this experience of harmonizing with women is got to be so much different for you.
It's amazing. It feels like sister harmony in a way.
Yeah.
And it just felt natural, like with all, you know, in the original band, me and my friend RP were the harmonizers, and I loved singing with him, and we still write together to this day. But there's just something about 3-part harmony.
Yeah.
And once he left the band, I could never find another harmony singer that quite filled the role. And so I really felt like it was me up front and then a band behind me. That's kind of how it felt a lot of the time. Now with us, it feels like the 3 of us are in front, fronting the band together.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my vision for us, was to have almost like my vision was the Chicks, like the Dixie Chicks, kind of like the 3 of them up front. And all of us playing our roles. But the minute we started singing together, I feel like we don't really work on our harmonies as much as you might think, because it just felt really natural. And that felt amazing to have that natural stack, low, middle, high, just put right in front of us. So that does feel really, really good.
So it's interesting you said you didn't come from a musical family, yet you reached this this point with your music where you felt comfortable harmonizing, which is for lots of players a place they never arrive at.
Well, you know, I'm not the one doing the harmonizing. I'm not doing the hard work.
Well,
Amelia
you
and Laura
did.
do a lot of the harmonizing. I guess in the last one I
song,
did.
yeah.
I don't honestly think I'm the best harmony singer, but I try. I'm better at high harmony than low. But yeah, music's been a trial by fire thing for me. I've didn't really have a lot of direction when I was young, so I've just been absurdly confident about it and put myself in spaces to get told what to do. And luckily, I've had a lot of friends who have been really great in guiding me through this experience of music, just super trial by fire. But now I'm a music teacher, so I get to do everything I wish someone told me. I get to tell a bunch of people. So, yeah.
What kind of music teaching do you do?
I do private lessons, mostly with kids.
Guitar
And ukulele and mandolin and voice. And I have a bunch of little mini-me's running around that
fun.
are just inheriting my good stuff and my bad stuff, but I love them. They're like my friends, these little kids I teach. They're so cute.
So as the sort of CEO of the band, of Thunder and Rain, I'm talking about now the early years. I'm sure you must have learned a ton about what that means to sort of direct a group and all the challenges associated with that.
Yeah, when I was young, I really didn't know how to do that. I have a lot of memories when I was first guiding the band where, you know, I'd drink too much whiskey and be like, let's go. Because I used to do that when I was going to open mics and stuff, just like drink 3 shots of whiskey and go up and whatever happened. Couldn't do that with a bluegrass band. So I had to really learn how to take the leadership role and how to direct people, cue people, be the glue that brings people together. It's a skill for sure that has gotten so much better over time. So I'm really glad I have that experience, you know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, being a 35-year-old, like, whatever, you should have made it by now, whatever, all that toxic stuff in my head that happens. It's like, yeah, but I wasn't ready at 23. I was still a baby. So
yeah,
I'm happy to be where I'm at right now.
You had also a sort of personal challenge with your voice. Can you talk some about that experience of sort of injuring your voice or having a problem with your voice that you felt was going to actually halt your career for a time, right?
Yeah, I actually started experiencing vocal problems really early in like my early 20s. Like I said, I never had any real training on anything, so definitely no vocal training besides like my high school musicals and stuff. And didn't know how to sing properly. And there was a period there, you know, from like 2015 to 2018 where I was playing like 5 shows a week, and a lot of them were weddings, like hours and hours long. And I started busking in the streets at a young age, so I thought I had to sing really loud to be heard. And so I would belt, but not in like a healthy way. And I don't want to get into all the intricacies of that, though. I'm always welcome to talk about it with any singer, if any singer ever wants to reach out to me. But I think it was like 2018. Yeah, I started really feeling like I had to get like 12 hours of sleep and drink a gallon of water to have my full range, which didn't feel right. And started losing my voice constantly. And luckily, in Colorado, they had this place called the Voice Clinic, and they diagnosed me with a vocal cyst, and they told me I was going to have to go through surgery. And even though it was really scary, part of me always knew that was going to have to happen. I had this thing in my head that was going to happen to me. I don't know why. And so I just knew I had to get it done. I knew I had to do it. Luckily, I'd saved up enough money, and I was able to take off work for 2 months, and I did not talk for 2 months. And it was so scary because if I couldn't sing, singing's always been my way of getting attention, of getting people to look at me, of getting recognition. So without singing, I felt like I didn't have that anymore, and I lost who I was and why people liked me, or why my friends even liked me, which is so bizarre because all my friends like me a lot better when I shut up. Just kidding. It was an identity crisis, and I knew that moving forward, I had to listen to my body. I had to understand my limits. There was no need to like push to be heard, unless actually sometimes when you sing softer, people listen more. Or and then I had this amazing voice coach named Marianne in Denver, who completely, after my surgery, like 2 months went by, and then she's like, well, you can't start singing unless it's with me, and we're gonna go bit by bit. So over the next 2 months after that, I went into her office every week, and we built my technique up from the ground up. And I was about to go back on tour, COVID hit, and we got on a Zoom lesson, and she's like, this is the best thing that could happen for your voice. I know you're depressed that you can't go back out on tour because of COVID, but you're not fully ready yet, and COVID's giving you the chance to really dial in this training. So that was a silver lining of the pandemic for me, is I actually got to rework my voice, retrain, build back up, and ever since then, I really, knock on wood, but I really haven't had the problems I used to have at all. And I sing way different now. And I also understand my limits, and I'm not singing to be loved or admired in the same way I used to be. I'm singing because I love it and because I want to make this music with my band.
Well, we don't have to go all too intricate for you to give people maybe three particular things that you learned about singing properly that have helped you to restore your voice and sort of sustain it even when you're having a series of 2 weeks on the road or 3 weeks on the road.
Yeah, number one, breath support is everything. So having that proper singer breath from your diaphragm changed my life. 2, opening up your mouth enough to get those resonant sounds so that you're not putting a bunch of pressure on your neck. Because if you open up your mouth and put your tongue down, it sounds weird. It will take the pressure off your actual vocal cords. And 3, not being ashamed to tell your bandmates, hey, I need to shut up in the back seat. I need to go to bed early. I need to, you don't have to do every after party, every single thing on the road. And, we're in our 30s, we're grandmas. I love our tour vibe. We like to go to bed. We like to just take our nighttime showers and get in bed. So it's nice that I'm with these gals and we can just be chill. But yeah, take care of yourself, because the road is hard. It's brutal out there on the road. So do what you need to do to take care of yourself.
Nice. All right. A public service announcement from Erinn Peet Lukes.
Oh my God, please take care of yourself.
Erinn is the leader of Thunder and Rain. She's here tonight with her band, and we're going to get back to some more music with them now. Welcome back, Thunder and Rain.
We're going to have Laura on banjo sing you this song.
Yeah, I wrote this song a couple of years ago. I feel like you're not a bluegrass band, or a good bluegrass band, if you don't have a song about the old home place or what's going on at home. So I grew up near Athens, Georgia, so I wrote this song about Athens, and it's called Back to the Classic City. see the world. I traveled this country over, its wonders I've observed. Take me back to the classic city, the place I call my home. The miles I've gone are many, no more I wish to roam. No more I wish to roam, oh Lord, more I wish to roam. As much as Athens summertime. I've seen the coast of California and the hills of Carolina. They'll never look so pretty as that classic city sign. That classic city sign, oh Lord, classic city sign. Soul body back to Clark County. Take me to the graveyard where Mom and Daddy lay. For in the classic city my home will ever stay. My home will ever stay, oh Lord, my home will ever stay. Please take me to my home, my happy home. Take me back to the classic city, my sweet Clark County home. Take me to my home, my happy home. Take me back to the classic city, my sweet Clark County home. My sweet Clark County home, oh Lord, sweet Clark County home.
All right, more on Georgia later. But right now we're going to go to Tennessee, back to Tennessee. This next song we released in 2017 off our second record. That record's called Start Believing. And this song was the last song that I wrote before the recording session, which that always happens to be my favorite song for some reason, that last submission. And this song is kind of about an experience I had with my friend who was crashing with me and at my home in Colorado at the time. And she was from eastern Tennessee, and there was a big wildfire in Gatlinburg, right by where she grew up. And she had to watch that on the TV in my dark, weird basement. And I was just like, dang, what a weird feeling watching your hometown burn down on a TV in some random basement. So I wrote a song about it. However, I say the word Chattanooga. When I wrote the song, I didn't know where everything was in Tennessee. Didn't know Chattanooga was not in eastern Tennessee, but it does rhyme with lose ya. So, us songwriters, we lie. This is called Tennessee is Burning.
1, 2, 3.
Came out west, I guess, for a better life. Hitching a ride off the mountainside. And memories I see what I left behind. That I never thought I'd miss sleeping alone, disowned in a living room. Turn my head, turn on the news. Wildfires are coming into view. Never thought it would come to this. Tennessee is burning. I will not be returning to the hills of my childhood. Got the wildwood blues. Smoke keep on rising, where I keep my ties in. Down in Chattanooga, will I lose ya there? I'll send my prayers. When the bottle was empty got the wildwood blues. Smoky water rising, where I keep my ties in. Down in Chattanooga, will I lose you there? Down in Chattanooga, will you take me there? Where Tennessee is burning. Tennessee is burning. Tennessee is burning. Thank you. We're going back to Georgia because Laura loves writing songs about Georgia.
That's all I know how to do, I think. But no complaints yet.
No complaints.
But yeah, I wanted to write a song to talk about the story of my grandmother. She passed away 2 years ago. She lived to be 97 years old. And she lived at home and was just in amazing health and had her mind, and she was hilarious. She went to church every Sunday and taught Sunday school. She sang alto in the choir. She was really amazing. But growing up, I always heard stories about my grandfather and how he fought in World War II. So he was a veteran, and anytime we would be at a town event and they would have all the veterans stand up and we would clap and recognize them, he always did that. We were always so proud. But what blew my mind is I never knew what my grandmother did during those years. She left her home on the farm and went about an hour north to Toccoa, Georgia, and lived in a boarding house and worked in a factory where they made bullets. And I never heard about that once until after she passed away. I actually found a really cool old newspaper article, and she was in the background in a picture in the factory, but it just kind of blew my mind that I never heard that once. She never talked about it, and certainly no one ever thanked her. And I thought a lot about the women that have served our country like that and kept things going here while the men were gone. And I wanted to write a song about that. And this is to honor her and all those women, and it's called Georgia Gals. I'm going to make sure I'm in tune first.
home, no word of praise. Girls came home, no word of praise. Girls came home, no word of praise.
All right. Beautiful. Nice tune. That's gorgeous. Yeah. I'd like to take just a moment before we get back to some music to remind listeners that Red Barn live streams tonight's and any Wednesday nights remain available online for you to view at your convenience, along with live audio streams, compliments of WGAD.net in central New York, so you can consume this stuff on your own time at your own convenience. Don't miss a single episode of our program, and be sure to tell your friends about what we do and why you like it. That means a lot. I want to tell you about our store. I've been talking about that the last few weeks. We are carrying a number of different things in the new Red Barn Radio merch store. Among them are this lovely mug, but wait, there's more. We have, we have shirts, we have tote bags, we have hats, and yes, Matt, we have koozies. Wow. Yeah, nobody carries koozies. Nobody carries koozies anymore. No, we're gonna get them back in action. You can find a direct link on our Facebook page, the Red Barn Radio main page, and on our weekly newsletter. Click the link for a fun way to support the show with official Red Barn Radio merchandise and share with friends. It's holiday giving time. Now's the time to go to the store. Born in the bluegrass of Kentucky and raised on Wyoming's high plains, our guest next week is yet another outstanding master of the upright bass who has performed with Della Mae and Molly Tuttle. Beyond her work on the instrument, Shelby Means is also an accomplished songwriter and a heartfelt vocalist whose voice is rooted in tradition while authentically her own. With her debut self-titled collection of songs, Means invites listeners to experience the same soulful presence and adventurous spirit she has built her career on. We'll be glad to have you with us for a great evening of music and conversation next week with Shelby Means on Red Barn Radio. Let's welcome back Thunder and Rain for more music.
Thank you so much. This is so much fun. We're having so much fun. Since we're having so much fun, let's play a song about crippling anxiety. Yes. Yes, let's do it. That's honestly all I have to say about this song. It's called, and this is also the last song that we wrote before we recorded our album Storybook Sessions. So again, another last song. Omaha was also the last song. What will be our last song for our next record? I don't know. We are writing a new record, which is really fun. I just wanted to insert that. Thank you. So send us good writing thoughts. Anyway, this one is called Warning Sign. There are paths in the back of your mind. There take my childhood bed before they bomb instead? Will you warn me for the war of stars and my love's ripped from my arms before the ending starts? Will you warn me for the moon glows red and the waves take my childhood bed before they bomb instead? Will you warn me for the war of stars and my love's ripped from my arms before the ending starts? Will you warn me? I need warning sign. I need a warning sign. Thank you all so much. This next song we're going to do is written by Amelia.
Yeah, this is a song I actually wrote a long time ago. I grew up playing music and for a while had a family band with my brother and sister. So I originally wrote this song. It's from a male perspective, and so I kind of always imagined that my brother would be the voice that sang it. But then we never really did anything with it with the family band. It was kind of towards the end of when we were playing a lot of shows and everybody was growing up and moving on. And when we were collecting songs for this last record on the storybook sessions with Thunder and Rain, we all kind of brought some songs that we had written to the table and shared them with everyone. And I was like, I have this song. I don't know if you're really going to like it. I mean, the opening line is, I am a man. And Erinn was like, done. I want that one. I was like, okay. And it's kind of just about what it feels like when you are really like in love with someone and kind of think that they're the one. And then they like leave you, and how that kind of feels like you're dying. So I wrote a song about that, and it's called My Heart is a Tombstone.
I am a man, flesh and bone, wandering down this crooked highway with a heart as cold as stone. You're an angel with broken wings, till you cried upon my shoulder and you set my poor heart free. We were bandits in the night, and we stole away from that old town without a trace behind. We made a new life on our own, till you said you loved another and then left me all alone, all alone. Now my heart is a tombstone, my soul is a grave, my body is a ghost town that was lost along the way. If what goes around comes back around, I must have done you wrong. Please forgive the harm I've caused, and I'll go back where I belong. Love is patient, and love is kind. Would you tell me that you love me just to leave our love behind? It may look like I'm still alive, but the truth is you destroyed me, and now in your grave I lie. Now my heart is a tombstone, my soul is a grave, my body is a ghost town that was lost along the way. If what goes around comes back around, I must have done you wrong. Please forgive the harm I've caused, and I'll go back where I belong. Leave me here in my tears, don't set me free, 'cause you know I'll never be. Thank you so much. Well, I've got 3 of the best musicians up here on stage with me, and we got to show them off. So we're going to play you an old bluegrass fiddle tune. Let's do it. Hey. Good old Canadian.
It's the best thing about being in a girl band. You got to lose hair.
We can just adjust each other. Yeah. We also mom each other in a circle. I feel like we're just constantly, someone's momming someone while someone's momming the other person.
We just take turns.
We just take turns, yeah.
All right. Wow, that was exciting. That was just great. Yeah. So our band this evening is Thunder and Rain, and you just heard the thunder part of them. And you guys are just doing such a great job. It's been so much fun watching you do your thing. I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk to the rest of you, sort of, Laura Ray and Amelia. Amelia, since you just did all that hot fiddle in that tune, could we talk some about your training, going back
Sure.
to when you were a little pipsqueak? What kind of training did your parents have you doing?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 4 kids, so I was the last person in the family to like start playing an instrument. But my sister started playing violin when she was 8 or 9. And I just remember I was like 3 years old, and I was going to lessons with her, classical lessons.
Going to take lessons, or
No,
just
I
going
was just
to
going
listen?
to observe because I was 3. I
Yeah,
couldn't
right,
stay home
sure.
alone, right?
Yeah, of course, right.
So my mom would bring me along, and I'd sit there and listen. And when we would go back home and my mom would practice with her, I remember I'd beg. I'd be like, can I just please let me hold the violin? And my mom was like, no, because you'll play it, and then you'll learn things wrong. Your technique will be bad.
Wow.
Like, you can't do that. And I was like, no, I won't play. Just, like, let me hold it. And then I would hold it, and then that slowly became, okay. And then I played, like, 5 notes, and then pretty soon I was playing whatever song my sister had just learned. And finally, when I was 4, my mom was like, all right, you can get your own violin, and you can start lessons, too.
And so your sister's name?
Amanda.
So you said your mom was practicing with Amanda?
Yeah,
Did your mom also play?
Kind of, not violin. My mom was actually a percussionist, not like formally trained or anything. Like when she was in high school, she did percussion, like in school and band and stuff.
Yeah.
But her dad was a self-trained musician. He played guitar and trumpet and banjo and a bunch of different instruments. And then her mom was a pianist and organist, and she played in church, forever, like her entire life. So that's mom's side of the family. Then my dad's side of the family, his mom was a professional pianist and taught and played in church.
Wow.
So I had music on both sides of the family.
Yeah.
I have a lot of like cousins that are in music or pursued music. But my mom had us take Suzuki method, if you're familiar with that.
I am.
And one of the tenets of doing that is where the parent like learns along with the child. So it's not just send the kid to the music lesson, sit outside while they do it, and then send them home and let them practice on their own. It's very much like an integrated thing where you're doing it along with the student. So the parent is sitting in the lesson taking notes, and then when they go home, they're with the child helping them like practice all the things that you learned in the lesson, or at least that's how we did it.
Yeah, I've never
with the
understood that
teachers I
exactly.
have.
Like how could a parent who didn't have sort of musicality go and sort of assist the kid with the practice?
That might be above my pay grade to explain because I'm not a parent, and I'm a musician, so like it would be easy for me to go sit with a kid and then teach them. But I know that Shinichi Suzuki, who is the guy that developed that method, he wrote a book called To Learn with Love. So if you want to learn more about it, go look up To Learn with Love. It explains kind of the whole mentality of like learning alongside your child.
I should go and read that because it would help
Yeah.
me understand a lot of fiddlers who are on the program who are trained classically like you are.
Yeah.
And who then went on to play fiddle, and that would help me understand maybe a little bit more about how to communicate with you guys.
We can just talk like this.
Yeah,
You can
okay, yeah,
communicate
I
with
think we're
me.
doing
I'm
fine.
normal, mostly.
Well, let's talk about let's talk about that sort of transition you made, because you must have done a pretty hard turn, because like your fiddling, bluegrass fiddling is super, hot and detailed and just
Thank you.
Yeah, just your
Yeah.
chops are great.
I played classical. I studied classical music all the way past high school, and I played like in youth symphonies and quartets and all that kind of stuff. But I was first introduced to fiddle music or non-classical music. Actually, there was a camp that I did every summer. I grew up in Colorado, which is a whole nother story because Erinn and I never knew each other in Colorado. It wasn't until we both lived in Nashville, which is funny. But I grew up in Colorado, and the Colorado Suzuki Institute every summer, it's like a week-long intensive where you study. It's like going to school, every day, but they call it summer camp. It's supposed to be fun, and for me it was fun because I was just a really nerdy kid that wanted to play music. But you go from master class to group class to orchestra class to improv class all day. It's pretty intense, but it was like fun for me. So I was first introduced to fiddle music there by a lady named Crystal Ploman, who I believe lives in Nashville. She's a fiddler, and she did an enrichment class, so it was like fiddle for violinists. And we learned some fiddle tunes. And that was like my favorite class the whole week. It was like the first class after lunch. So we'd go at 1 o'clock, and I was like ready. And we learned like 3 or 4 tunes during that week, which are still some of my favorite fiddle tunes to play. And that was my first introduction to like what fiddle is. And then shortly thereafter, I saw a special on PBS. It was the All-Star Bluegrass Homecoming, and turned on the TV, and Alison Krauss in Union Station was playing with Sierra Hull. She was probably like 11 at the time, and she was playing mandolin, and I remember just being like, what is that? Like, I want to do that.
You mean the mandolin?
Well, I was actually, at first I was really enamored with mandolin, and I was like, she's young, I'm young, I could be her, like, this is, like, let's go, like, let's do it. And I begged my mom, and she got me a mandolin for my 9th birthday. But that was, like, when I saw Alison Krauss and just saw that, like, bluegrass music was a thing, I was really inspired. I was like, she sings, she plays fiddle, and she's leading this band. And then mandolin and just all of that. There were so many great artists on that show, Nickel Creek and Del McCurry, Mountain Heart, like some of my favorite bands were on there. And that was my first like introduction into the whole world of bluegrass music.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, so was your mother, I'm thinking about your mom, because we've talked mostly about her. Was she, I don't know, do you remember a point when she felt sort of or expressed some disappointment in you taking a turn away from classical and focusing more?
Not really. No.
That's great for
no.
her.
Yeah. It's hard. I wouldn't say disappointment. It was just, I think she was just thrilled that like my siblings and I were interested in music at all. And like I said, my older brother and older sister and I kind of started a band. We all played classical, my sister violin, my brother's a cellist. So the three of us had this trio, and when we were really little, we played classical music and like hymns. I mean, I remember the first time we ever played a gig was when I was literally like 5. I had barely played the violin, and we played for this lady's 100th birthday party at this nursing home where we volunteered, and they paid us with Beanie Babies. Each one of us got to pick out our favorite Beanie Baby, and I was like, I made a Beanie Baby playing music. Like, I'm a
Yes.
musician.
Unbelievable.
This is great. And then the next year we played at the, I can't even remember the name of it, this antique store that like my mom's friend owned in Denver, and they paid us $200 to play for 3 hours. And I was like, I'm
What a
6.
deal.
The
And I
rates
just,
haven't changed.
well, yeah, literally. Yeah, it's not like it's much better now, but they paid us $200. We played 3 hours a day, I think over 3 days. And we were like, this is great. We're getting paid to play music. And I mean, I was like 6 or 7. So to me, I was like, let's go. Like, this
Was
is awesome.
it $200 for the 3 days?
Yeah,
or-
for all 3 of us to split between, because, you know, we're kids. We don't need money, right? We can just do
Right.
labor for free or for little.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could pay rent with Beanie Babies?
Right. But the kind of the transition to bluegrass music came in 2008. 2008, I think. My great-grandmother, my mom's grandma, who's the one that played organ and piano in church, she moved in with my family. She's from a really small town in central Kansas, and she was diagnosed with lung cancer when she was 87. And there was just like not really good healthcare options out there, so she ended up coming to Colorado and living. We converted our office into like a hospital room for her. So she lived with us for almost 2 years as she was battling lung cancer. And she would get the hometown newspaper. It would get delivered once a week so that she could see what was going on in this tiny little town where she was from. And there's a thing called the American Profile. I don't know if they have that out here, if it's more of a Midwest thing, but it's just a little like magazine insert that goes in the, we were talking about that earlier, that goes in the middle of the newspaper. And it just has different like feel-good articles. It's like Hallmark Channel in print,
Yeah,
kind of.
sure.
And then you advertise, like it would advertise like craft shows, and it was advertising the country bluegrass festival in North Platte, Nebraska, and it said band competition, and it was in 2 weeks. And my grandma had passed away in January, and this was like April, I think. And I was like, I really like bluegrass music. What if we turned the Ransom Notes, which was our, the Ransom Family String Trio, into the Ransom Notes, and we became bluegrass instead of just classical? Like, what if we went and competed in this contest? And my mom was like, oh, okay. So we went to the Old Town Pick-and Parlor, which is a guitar store in Arvada, Colorado, and we met Martin Gilmore, who, Martin, if you're watching this, hello. And he was just like a 23-year-old, didn't really know what was up, but was trying to do music and working at this guitar store. My mom was like, I will pay you to come to my basement and teach my kids how to play bluegrass so that they can compete in this festival in 2 weeks. He was like, I'm 23, I need money, let's go. So he did, and we learned like 4 songs. Like, he gave us some Hot Rise records, and like a Bruce Molsky record, and we played like the little that we knew. We ended up playing Amazing Grace twice because we ran out of music, and we were playing it like classical. I mean, it was like string trio classical on this bluegrass stage, and we got 3rd place, which I don't know if that's a testament to how bad the other bands were or that they thought we were cute. I don't know, but they were like, all 3 of us were like, whoa, like, we could like do this as bluegrass. So then we went back the next year, competed again, and won after having a year to prep. And then we kind of took off with like the more bluegrassy stuff. But I wouldn't call us bluegrass. We didn't have a banjo. I was mostly playing guitar and mandolin, and then my brother was cello. So we didn't have a bass. We just had the cello, and then my sister on fiddle.
Wow. And to start off, to be introduced to bluegrass with you know, Hot Rise and Bruce Molsky.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, no, he was, he gave us the good stuff.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Well, and at that point, I like knew who Alison Krauss, Mountain Heart, all the people I'd seen on TV, I knew who they were. So I remember, he actually told me later, he's like, you know, the first time I met you, you asked me if I knew who Stuart Duncan was. And I was like, I did? And he's like, yeah, you asked me if I knew who he was and if I thought he was good. And I was like, that's funny. He was like, yeah, he's kind of like one of the most famous fiddle players.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah. Did you ever do any fiddle contests?
Yeah, I did the Rocky Grass Fiddle Contest.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's the only one I ever, well, I take that back. I did the Winfield contest, but I didn't practice. I just like showed up and went, and that was just, I didn't even have a waltz. Like the guitar player that I was using, he just randomly was there, and we hadn't learned anything or practiced, so we just decided we're going to play these 3 chords as a waltz and just made it up. It was totally
because you got to do like a hoedown.
Yeah,
to the
you have to do it.
waltz,
Rocky Grass is a little more freeform, so I did that in 2010 maybe. Yeah, 2010 I think, 2009, something like that, and got second place. And then I just never entered again. So I got second place at Rocky Grass.
Way to go!
Yay.
Yeah, stick with that.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, you're a beautiful player.
Thank you.
I just love what you do.
Thank you.
Really, really cool.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, I wonder. Then we had to talk with Laura Ray before we run out of time. Laura Ray, it was so cool to hear you talking about your grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cool.
Thanks for telling that story. Could you tell your story about how you ended up coming to this instrument, to the banjo?
Yeah. I had a musical family like Amelia. I'm a family band survivor. No, my experience was good. I think she had a good experience, but there's a lot of jokes about family bands and stuff. But anyway, I did play with my siblings growing up, but I first started on guitar when I was about 13.
And you were where in the world?
In Royston, Georgia.
Okay,
where
which is where in Georgia?
Northeast Georgia, just north of Athens. So
Okay.
I say a lot of times I'm from Athens, Georgia, and people have an idea of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But from Royston, and my dad is an absolutely amazing piano player. I feel like if he would have moved to Nashville as a young man, he could have played in anybody's band or done anything he wanted to do. He still could. And my mother's also a wonderful piano player, and we grew up in church music and singing in the choir and all that stuff. And so always interested in music, and then picked up the guitar about 13. But I saw, kind of related to your seeing cool stuff on TV story, maybe like 14 or so, we always had TV Land on at our house. That's all my mother would let us watch. So Beverly Hillbillies was on, And, you know, I'd always heard like the theme song.
Sure.
Always heard that. But this episode in particular, Flat and Scruggs were on it as a guest. And Earl played Foggy Mountain Breakdown on it. And I just remember just suddenly paying attention and watching that and thinking it was so interesting and cool. And I just thought, I have to do that. I have to. So I'd been saving up some money to buy a car. I was 15, I think, and I hadn't gotten anywhere, but I took that money and bought a banjo instead and started taking lessons, and yeah, I love it.
That's a very funny story about a kid, a kid who is choosing between a car and a banjo.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
kid chooses the banjo.
Yeah.
That's a unique story.
Well, I was way closer to being able to afford a cheap
Yeah.
banjo than a car, so that also helped.
Yeah.
Wanted
gotcha.
something right away, you know.
I wonder if back to thinking about your grandma, and you said you never knew much about what she did during the World War,
Yeah.
and then you found out after she passed.
Yeah.
And which sort of brings me to this place where I'm thinking about when Vicki was on the show. We talked some about sort of maybe a little shift that's going on in terms of sort of gender equity in music, particularly in this
Yeah.
idiom in bluegrass and Americana.
Yeah.
I remember Vicki was saying that that so many guys believed that she was essentially there looking for someone to carry her bass for her, and and she told them otherwise,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you all could talk some about your feelings about sort of any shift. Do you perceive that there is a shift going on? Do you feel that the struggle kind of goes on to find the place where you want to be in music as a woman?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always, I don't know if there will always be a struggle, but there's still things that are tough to deal with. I think one thing that still needs a lot of work is it's still very common for festivals and promoters to only want one female act on the bill, like two. Well, we already have one booked today. I feel like that's still a really common thing. It's getting better, and there's some really good festivals that are purposely going out of their way to book more women, which we appreciate. But there's still battles here and there, but there has been a nice shift in bluegrass. I was actually talking to Vicki on the way here, which our fabulous bass player tonight, Vicki Vaughn, and she is now the 3-time IBMA Bass Player of the Year as of a couple weeks ago. The reigning champion.
Yeah.
And we were talking about on the way here Becky Buller, and about how it really wasn't long ago that she won Fiddle Player of the Year, and she was the first woman to ever win Fiddle Player. But since then, we were talking about several women have won it, and it's just like Becky kind of opened a floodgate there, and there's like the big 3 ladies on banjo: Gina Britt, Allison Brown, and Kristen Scott Benson, and they just kind of take turns winning the Banjo Player Award. And so there's some cool things that we're seeing. There's always a long way to go, but I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to add to that. But
I would just say that we have made a lot of progress, but kind of to your point, there is still a long way to go. I feel like there's still a discrepancy in like pay rate, maybe not so much in bluegrass, but like I've done a lot of country gigs as well. And there's definitely bands out there that if you're a guy, your base pay is going to be $350 a day, and if you're a girl, it's $250 just because you're a girl. I don't know why they think that's okay, but like that's something that I like would still run into. We also had like a booking agency one time that we were interested in working with. They were like, "You guys are great and stuff, but we already have one girl band on the roster,
Yeah, they
so
said
we're
that
not
out
gonna
loud to
we're
us."
not gonna represent you guys."
yeah, they said that.
So that was pretty. That was like within the past year
Yeah,
too.
that, like,
so
happened,
that was
like,
a
last
little
year.
harsh.
I've also experienced, like, because I've had this band. I mean, this band has changed members multiple times. It's just
it's hard to keep the same members in a band for a decade. So I've had lots of different people. I've never particularly picked people based on gender. And it worked out that, what we were doing, we were like mostly women in this group, and no one seemed to notice before when the dudes would change. Maybe this is like reverse sexism. Nobody would notice if I had a different guy in the band. But suddenly when I got these two girls and they're like, the band's different. It's different now. I'm like, it's been changing over the past decade.
We'll have new people that have never seen us before. They'll come up to the merch table after a gig, and we'll have all the records there. And like a couple of the older ones have pictures of the guys on the front, and then there's the one with the girls. And he's like, well, I don't want this. This isn't this band. Like, you guys are misrepresenting yourself. I'm like, we're the band. Like, members change. I don't know what to tell you.
We play songs from that record, and
totally
they sound a lot like that record. And yeah, they even, like our bass player who was in the band for 8 years, he's in Colorado, and so, but we can't play with him out here. But we had another guy playing with us, and people thought it was the same guy. It's like, these guys look completely different.
What?
So it's really ridiculous how people reacted to the change. I'm like, it's always been a bluegrass band. It's not that big of a deal.
It's actually more bluegrass now because
for sure, 'cause we have Laura.
is a ripping banjo player, which has never existed in the band before.
Exactly.
In the same
ripping bluegrass way.
Yeah.
So
Mash.
there is a long way to go. I used to get really frustrated out in the world, especially at bluegrass jams. I would get really mad at guys. For one, I'd walk in and they would never give me a break in the jam. I'd never get a solo, right? In a bluegrass jam, you go around in the circle. I'm very, very dedicated to this idea. You go around the circle and you ask everybody to take a solo. They would just skip me out of just I guess a blonde girl can't pick a guitar. I don't really know what the deal is. And it used to make me really viscerally angry. And I've calmed down over the years. I've stopped caring and just been like, you know what? Let them. They're just going to miss out on my really mid-level solo. But all the guys take mid-level solos and think they're freaking awesome. So I was like, hey, if that guy thinks his solo's great, I'm going to think mine's great too. I don't care. So I've really calmed down about how mad I've been about that. And honestly, I'm just like, hey, we're just a band. We're choosing who we play with. This is who I want to play with.
Yeah.
Gender doesn't matter. Is it cool that we're all girls? I mean, it's fun. I like being in a band with women. I like working with women.
It makes it easier to share beds in hotel rooms.
Yeah,
the Nashville scene is rich with women that are amazing, like Vicky and Vicky's ladies' night that she does at a bar in town, where we just feature all these different amazing women. It's just like the scene of women in Nashville is unreal. I feel so lucky to be there, to be amongst all these amazing queens, and just keep going, girlies. I want to see it. I want to see everything a girl has to go for, I'm just down for it all. That's how I feel. Yeah. And the men can deal however they want to deal with it.
All right.
The one girl, woo!
No, we're all cheering.
Yay!
Yeah. I'm not surprised by your experience, though I am still sickened by it to hear about it. But what a privilege it is for us to have such
And you guys mentioned that you were so happy
women.
to have a bunch of gals coming through recently, and you were so happy to have us, and so we love y'all at Red Barn. It's been amazing to be here. We felt very welcomed and such a great experience, so we're just happy to be here.
All right, and the feeling is mutual. Let's bring back Thunder and Rain for some more music.
Speaking of just strictly feminine topics, here's a song about a forest demon called a Wendigo. I know this mountain
you didn't. If you hear a baby's cry, no, you didn't. If you hear a whistle in the wind, no, you didn't. If you hear your name, no, you didn't. If you hear a baby's cry, no, you didn't. If you hear a whistle in the wind, no, you didn't. I'll meet you on the other side. Thank you so much. This next one is, we end a lot of our shows with it. It's about being on an adventure with someone you love, and it's called Run With You. I want to give a shout out to our 4 audience members. Y'all have been awesome.
It makes it so much easier
Yeah,
to
it
have
does.
someone
Someone to bounce off of. So thank you for being here. All in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take my hand and I'll run with you. It's a small town game you're gonna lose. If you keep All right. We're going to play maybe one more or one more. Maybe if the 4 audience members demand an encore. We shall not.
Hundreds and thousands
Oh, yeah.
out there who are all
Oh,
going
right.
like this.
I
and
forgot
holding
about
their-
the
and
outer
holding
net.
their
Yeah.
lighters up in the air.
Yes, I can feel it. I think my mom's watching. Hi, Mom. This song is actually funny. It's kind of related to my family in that. Hold on, I gotta get this thing in tune. But that's completely the wrong. I'm starting to lose my mind up here. Hold on, someone else talking.
From Athens.
It is related to Athens, Georgia. Good job. We're going to do a cover, and I think a lot of our 90s kids are pretty into this song. I think Erinn was going to say that her dad was really into this kind of music when she was growing up, kind of alt-rock in the 90s, and pretty great band from Athens, Georgia called REM.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
So
old
you
Georgia
probably know
fans.
what we're going to do, but yeah.
Yeah,
We're going to try it.
We're gonna try it. Yep.
It's our little challenge.
This goes out to my childhood with no bluegrass, but all alt rock. This goes out to my dad. If my dad's listening, you escaped us a lot to listen to REM in your office, and I commend you for that. You're a great dad. And here's REM for you.
1, 2.
It's bigger than you, and you are not me. The lengths that I will go to, the distance in your eyes. Oh,
Wow, all right. Well, there are many people to thank for our broadcast. First, Thunder and Rain, Erinn Peet Lukes, Amelia Ransom, Laura Ray, and Vicki Vaughn, our guests on this program tonight. We want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on social media, and those of you listening to us on our growing network of Red Barn stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, Central and Eastern Kentucky's radio news leader. You can listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, you got to be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our future programs. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now, before we close out our evening, let's bring back Thunder and Rain for one more number, if they will.
Yes.
Love to have you do one more. All right.
Thank you so much for having us. We're going to go out on a traditional bluegrass song. This is the Big Spike Hammer.
1, 2, 3.
Can't you hear the rhythm of my big spike hammer? Lord, it's busting my side. I done all I knew. Keep that woman, Lord, she's not satisfied. Hey, hey, tell me, why do you treat me this way? Hey, hey, tell me, I'll get even someday. I'm the biggest hammer swinger in this big section gang. Thunder and Rain is our name. And this hammer that we swing for $1.50 a day, it's all from my Delta Maine. Hey, hey, tell me, why do you treat me this way? Hey, hey, tell me, I'll get even someday. I've been lots of places, not much I ain't done. Still have things I'd like to see. But this hammer that I swing, or woman that I love, once gonna be the death of me. Hey, hey, tell me, why do you treat me this way? Hey, hey, tell me, I'll get even someday. Big spike hammer, big spike hammer.
Thank you guys so much for Thunder and Rain.
Wow, all right. Well, that's all for our show for this week, folks. Remember, you can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. It's always great to hear from all of you, too, who listen to Red Barn Radio's archive performances on your favorite streaming platforms and on our YouTube channel. Speaking of you listeners, please, before, during, or after you enjoy Red Barn Radio, take just a moment to engage with us. Your comments, your sharing, and certainly your choice to follow us and the bands we showcase will keep us growing and continuing our mission to bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods and beyond. And now we bid you good night. Let's stick together, let's appreciate each other, and let's join up for another great evening of music and conversation on Red Barn Radio next week. I'm Bradford Becker. See you next time.